are the mandible. These are super fun, in my opinion. I always have to have that disclaimer. So, first of all, who's going to be my patient, Anita? Oh, all right, let's see.
Should I be? If not, you can use Judy.
Yeah,
All right.
you can use
All right,
me.
come on up. All right, come on over. Come on over.
Oh, wait.
I just got the height ready for Zena.
Zena go.
I just got the height ready for her. Okay. So, we are doing mandible. The key to the mandible. Face the board, please. Okay. You're going to start the positioning exactly like the PA cranium. So, chin down, forehead and nose touching the IR. Okay, so go ahead, lean in, forehead and nose touching the IR. Stand up, you can stand up straight, yeah. And then forehead and nose touching the IR. Perfect. Okay. The only difference between this and your PA cranium is your centering point. PA cranium, we said we are centering here at the nasion. For the mandible, because it's lower, we are centering here at the acanthion. So careful, I'm going to raise this up just a tiny bit. All right, good. Okay, make sure that I'm doing my 10 by 12 first. All right, 10 by 12. Wow, look at this headpins.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Ah.
Pretty. I mean, it's not great for the x-ray, but it does look pretty when it shines the light like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to check here. OMO looks flat. This is my PA mandible. The only change is centering. So far, so good? Okay. PA axial mandible. Which way did I say we always angle for the head work?
Caudal.
This is your exception.
Ah.
This goes cephalid. The reason is because the mandible is like this, right? It's shaped like this. So if I want to make this elongated, right? If I want this as long as possible, I want to come in like this. I want to look up like this, right? So I can see it nice and long, right? If I do it the other way, it looks short. So I'm going to be angling upward so it looks long. I'm going to angle up about 25 degrees. I believe this is 20 to 25 degrees. So I'm going to go to, well, 24 degrees, close enough. All right. And once again, I am exiting at the acanthion. Okay, go up just a tiny bit. Oh, there's the laser that's covering it. All right, exiting at the acanthion. Great. Let's maybe bring you over here a little bit. Make sure you're centered. Make sure you're MSP. All right, good. Tell me, where does it look like my central ray is entering? Where is the crosshair?
Crosshair's like right.
So C, T.
Right, it's right here between the shoulders.
Yeah.
This is where my central ray is entering. Is this anywhere near the mandible?
No.
No. This is an illusion. This is going to get you the mandible because of your steep angle. So it's okay. A lot of students see it all the way down here. They're like, oh no, I'm not supposed to be x-raying the shoulders. And they slide this up and then they miss it. They're off center now. For this one, remember, you are actually going to shoot from between the shoulders. Right here. You get it, Zena? This is where the centering point is. Right here. Okay? And then, of course, I could collimate if I wanted to. So, for example, right, mandible EAM is right here. That's the furthest out it goes. So I can always collimate in this way, right? Leave maybe like an inch past the EAM so that I have room for my marker. Okay, so I can afford to collimate on the mandible. Okay, also I just realized that this is all about at 14, so. Right there. Okay, light's even on both sides, head is even on both sides. 25-degree angle. 24-degree angle.
Do we need to readjust it because the SID is technically 43, not 40?
Leave it where it locks.
Just leave it where it locks.
Mhm. Yes, if you try and bring it to 40 and you unlock it, it won't shoot.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, like we said, right? You add angle, you have more distance, exposure goes down. Right? That's why we have AEC. Great. So far, so good.
Yes.
All right, we have our third and final projection, which is actually 2 projections in 1. I'm sorry, I lied. And one of those is actually 3 projections in 1, so I'm sorry, I lied again.
Oh my God.
We are going to be doing the axial lateral oblique mandible. For this one, Zena, are you okay with taking off your jacket?
Sure.
All right, because this is going to be very tough, even without the jacket on. This is probably the toughest projection out of everything in this section.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to start by putting our patient almost like doing a lateral, right? When we did our lateral head work, yep, that's right. Slight rotation, head, turn, and then touching the IR. Great. So, axial, angle under tube. Lateral oblique. This is an axial lateral oblique of the mandible. So, what are we going to be doing here? We are looking at the side of the mandible closest to the IR. Okay? So I'm going to start by getting my patient in a true lateral. All right. Can you bring the top of your head closer? Good. Turn to face me. Turn to face me. Bring your chin down. Bring your neck closer. Sorry, I know that sounds weird. Bring the top of your head away just a little bit. Top of your head away. So, look. So take your head and go like this. Good. So, like that. There you go. Touch. Okay, too much. Go the other way. Perfect. Turn towards me. Chin down. All right. There's my IOML. There's my IPO. Okay. Looks pretty good. Okay, we do have a little bit of OID, but that's, I think, because of my patient, so we're not going to worry about that. Right? We're going to call that patient anatomy. Okay? So, notice, I'm going to slide it back just a tiny bit. If I try and shoot my x-ray like this, what is on top of my mandible? What is this?
Angle.
What do you see here? Zena can't see it, so you have to explain it to her. What do I have here? What am I missing here? Look at her chin. What's different about her chin compared to the rest of the face here? Don't overthink this. The obvious thing
It's
is,
cut off?
It's cut off.
why is it cut off?
Is it because of the shoulder? Yeah.
Right, the shadow of her shoulder is on her mandible right now. So step 1, lift the mandible. Now, we're lucky with Zena because she's flexible enough to lift her mandible, and if she brings the shoulder down, the shadow goes away. If you have a patient with thick, broad shoulders like Marcus, this is going to be tough.
Oh.
Right? Because, right, the neck's not going to be as long, the shoulder's going to be even wider, shadow is going to be on the chin. At that point, you need to try some adjustments. But right now, we are okay. Now, we're going to keep our patient lateral. Okay. So, in this true lateral position, centered here, once again, kind of like on the gonion, we are going to be looking at the mandibular rami, this vertical part of the mandible here. That is what we're looking at when the patient's head is in a true lateral. However, you take this patient's head and you turn it, so I'm going to turn you 30 degrees towards the IR. Right, so normally this would be cheek and ear touching the IR.
I can.
Oh, you sure?
Mm-hmm. One of them the proper way.
Okay. important. Good. So let's do right, true lateral. Bring the top of your head closer to the IR. Whoop, too much. Okay, chin down. A little bit too much, chin up, tiny bit, good. Okay, pardon me. Good. And now I'm going to rotate you. Very good. So 30-degree rotation, right? Bring your chin straight up again. And then I'm going to slide you straight back a little bit. Good. Now, with this 30-degree rotation, I am focused on the right side body of the mandible. The body is this long part here. By turning the head 30 degrees, I've put the long part of her mandible parallel to my IR. It is now fully elongated. It is in its true length. So, still angled, but now 30-degree rotation on the head. If I go one step further and I turn the head even more, 45-degree oblique towards the IR. Raise that chin up. Bring the shoulder down. Good. Now, this is for the mandibular symphysis. This part here, where the two left and right halves of the mandible come together. Right? Just like we have a pubic symphysis, this is a mandibular symphysis. So for this one, 45-degree rotation. Big rotation. Okay? So, equipment setup is the same, right? Really, I should have brought this up more. But it's the rotation of the head that determines what anatomy you're looking at. Rami, body, or mandibular symphysis. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, what if my patient can't do this? In that case, that's where the second technique comes into play. We are now instead going to do a horizontal beam. Okay, so now we don't need to worry about the shoulder as much. All right, so turn back to look at me again. True lateral. Stay oblique. I know, I'm sorry. It hurts your neck. Okay, turn your head. Face me, face me, face me. Good. Chin down, chin down. Good. All right, very good job. So once again, starting with our lateral, right? We're going to do 15-15. 15-degree rotation, 15-degree tilt. So I'm going to take my patient, turn 15 degrees inward, take the top of the head, 15 degrees tilt. Okay. Once again, center here at my mandible. All right, try not to move. I'm just going to slide the board. Okay. Forwards. Right. Something like this. This is going to be the other way you can do a mandible. 15 rotation, 15 tilt. Right? It's not going to be as good as the true axilateral, but notice less concern about the shadow overlapping the chin. Right? So for someone like Marcus, this might be what you would have to do. Sorry to Marcus, but
Sorry to Marcus.
he has his, right, but yes, sorry to Marcus's partner, but he has a great example of a difficult mandible patient. I can already see it. Hey, Miss Josepha. Sorry, I have to stay professional right now. Okay, you can relax now, Zina. Thank you. So I believe that is everything in your lab packet. Did I forget